Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, I'm going to go over the best core for VGC right now, being Talonflame and Great Tusk. This is easily one of the best Tailwind options you could run in the game, and if you want to try this yourself, the link to the team is going to be down below as well as the rental, and hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you do, leave a like and subscribe. Now, the comment question of the day: what is your favorite past Paradox Pokemon to use right now? Mine definitely was Flutterman at a certain point, but it's honestly become Great Tusk. This thing smashes through so many offensive builds, though I would say Sandy Shocks is also definitely in the run for that. The Mon is really, really fun. With that said, let's get into it. So today's team, of course, is built around Great Tusk. We have a Terra Ground set, which is designed to just break through teams as much as possible with Headlong Rush. It's our primary stab for a reason. We also have a Close Combat on this thing as another stab option. Protect, just because of Protect. And then I have Ice Spinner on here. Ice Spinner is a decent option. It's a good middle ground for different dragon types, such as Dragonite, for example. It does a ton of damage to that, as well as doing damage to random Terra Flying Mons. This would be stuff like Gambit and Tyranitar. They would otherwise be able to Terrestrial into Flying and become a good check to Great Tusk. It's also decent to remove Electric Train if for some reason we fight something like Pincurchin plus Iron Hands. I've seen it around very, very niche, to say the least. It's something that doesn't usually come. But I figured between that and Rock Slide, this will just do a lot more damage because it's single target, slightly higher base power, Ice is a better offensive coverage anyway, so a lot of different reasons really. This also helps pressure different Terra Grass options, which is something that Rock Slide didn't really do, so I figured again, this is valuable for that reason. We have Clear Amulet on our set. You could in theory do Boost Energy, however I have it on another Pokemon that I figured it was a little bit more valuable for here, which speaking of, we have Iron Bundle. Now Iron Bundle is a nice backup in case a Talonflame can't come to a game. It's still great speed control with Icy Wind, and especially for other bundle mirrors, it's a great option. Freeze Dry is great for Dondozo as well as other water types like Gastrodon, especially to force them into maybe Terra Fire rolls, which for Great Tusk is a great thing because unlike my Orlando team, you can actually just smash through Gastrodon with Terra Fire with Great Tusk, which is really huge. Hydro Pump is great for different fire types, such as Arcanine, for example, or ground types like Great Tusk, and Protect is just Protect. We're Booster Energy Speed to try and get the Icy Wind off as fast as possible against other Pokemon, and that's pretty much it. We have Flutterman with the Life Orb here. We have 29 HP IV, so then we only take 12 damage per Life Orb hit. Forgot this thing has like no HP. For some reason I was thinking it was 15 versus 16. No, it's 12 versus 13. The speed is just max speed to tie either Fluttermane. Terra Fairies help get out of our Ghost weakness and boost our damage for both Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam on this Pokemon. Overall, just a really good offensive monster for the team, and it's great under Tailwind. You could in theory go with Modest, however, I prefer the Timidness. Though, if you're Modest, just go with max speed Modest if you run this on your own end and prefer the damage output. I didn't really personally value it, but to each their own, of course. Up next, we have Meowscarada with Focus Sash. Now, I like Meowscarada a lot because this is probably one of the best Dondozo options you can get in tandem with Iron Bundle. Dondozo is mostly here for stuff like Toxic Spikes for Dondozo, as well as putting pressure on stuff like Gastrodon, Dondozo, etc. pre-Terra. So then they either have to burn a Terra or that they're just gonna get KO'd, which is really good for us, obviously, because those are two decent responses to Great Tusk, to say the least. Sucker Punch is a great option as well to pressure different options such as Iron Bundle and Fluttermane, which is a good way to, of course, add some priority to this team outside of Talonflame. Meanwhile, Knockoff is just great to remove items, so overall, really good option. Helps pressure stuff as well, like Psy Spams, which is huge. And yeah, we're Overgrow, by the way. I guess for any newer viewers who don't really watch a lot of VGC, Overgrow is actually preferred in VGC because your Grass and Dark typings are both extremely valuable. With the Dark typing, you're getting around stuff like Prankster Thunderwave or Prankster Taunt, which is valuable for our Toxic Spikes. Meanwhile, with the Grass typing, we're able to get around stuff like Spore and Rage Powder from Amoonguss and Brute Bonnet. So you really do want to keep both types in this Pokemon, and you're going to really only Terra in like an absolute scenario to try and put pressure on Dondozo. Up next, we do have the Talonflame. This is Terra Flying with the Covert Cloak. I've seen Terra Ghost slot with Covert Cloak. Now, I'm still not sure why, because personally, my reason for this was to get around Fake Out, but you do that anyway with Covert Cloak. So if someone actually could explain that to me in the comments, I would love to hear it. Until I hear that response, though, I'm going to run Terra Flying, because I like the damage output this does a lot more. It turns Talonflame into an actually good offensive piece, with Will-O-Wisp being great for physical attackers such as Iron Hands, Dondozo, Great Tusk, etc. Meanwhile, Taunt is great to stop potential Trick Room or potential, really just any sort of support, really. It's really valuable for that. Will-O-Wisp is great for, well, no, I already mentioned Willow. Tailwind is great for stuff like really everything on our team. The Mon that appreciates Tailwind the least here would probably be Meowscarada, just because of the built-in priority as well as the fact that it's such a niche pick on the team anyway, but every other Pokemon really loves the Tailwind being up against majority of builds. And then Brightbird's a nice stab option that could take advantage of Gale Wings for the nice priority hit. Though typically, by the time that our HP is out of full, we've already clicked Tailwind, which is the move we chose to go for in that situation. Final mon on the team is Goldengo. Now, this is EV'd to take a Terra Ghost Choice Spec Shadow Ball from FLUTTER, with the speed being a great creep for Armouge, specifically modest max speed Armouge. Now, this is the fastest Armouge I've actually seen, but ultimately this is designed to try and creep stuff like Sylveon as well by circumstance, and it puts a lot of pressure on different fairies, size spam, etc. that would otherwise put a lot of pressure on pre-Terra Great Tusk. So overall, really good offensive breaker here. 156 HP is a nice divisible number by 2, which is amazing for our Citrus Berry, which should hopefully be some nice built-in recovery, because this Pokemon has some decent-ish bulk. For such an offensive piece with 133 special attack and 84 speed, has some nice built-in bulk. And overall, this typing is really appreciated for taking out different fairies for Great Tusk as well. With that said, though, that's going to be the team. Hope you guys enjoyed the builder, and we'll see you guys in the battles. Peace out. Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're going to be using a team built around Talonflame and Great Tusk. If you guys enjoy this and you want to see more, of course, like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get started. Today, we're taking on a team consisting of Mimikyu, Arcanine, Garganacl, Meowscarada, Iron Hand, and Iron Bundle. So I think I've seen this comp going around a lot, albeit without Meowscarada, but everything else I've seen pretty much like on this sort of comp. I think that they typically have been running like Roaring Moon over that spot, but I might be wrong. Pretty sure it's a Cursed Mimikyu. I would be shocked if it isn't. We're going to lead off with Talonflame. Talonflame's a great taunter here, and truthfully, I don't even know if I'll need Tailwind necessarily on lead. But just in case, I am going to also bring the FLUTTER, as I can either go for a Protect on turn 1, or I can even just go for a Moonblast if I do see that the Iron Bundle is boosted energy. I'm going to proceed to bring Great Tusk in slot 3, and then I think I'm going to bring, I kind of want to bring Iron Bundle or Goldengo in slot 4. I think I'm leading Iron Bundle just because it'll take a bit of pressure off of the Arcanine, which right now I really only have Tusk for. Meanwhile, I can use Tusk plus not Mischievous. That's for tomorrow's video. No, Tusk plus FLUTTER for really just any other combination of mons here. Should be pressured by that. Like Garganacl, for example, I can go for Terra Fairy, FLUTTER plus Great Tusk, and then I just smash that. Meowscarada should just get smashed by FLUTTER, to be honest. But that's sort of like the general point here. They're gonna lead off with Iron Hand's Mimikyu. That's fine. I'm gonna proceed to go for Taunt on Mimikyu, and then I'm gonna go for a Moonblast into the Iron Hand spot. Actually, no, I'm just gonna go for Gleam for now. I know I can take a hit on my FLUTTER. Well, actually, no, I can't. I'm not the bulky FLUTTER. But even still, even if it's gonna go for like a Wild Charge here, I'm fine with that. It's free chip, and at the same time, Talonflame will most likely be at full health then, which does mean that I can proceed to go for a Brave Bird on the following turn, which should be really valuable. Assuming, of course, no Terra. And even if it does Terra, it's 50-50 looking on preview at least of like, well, I guess it could be Steel. It's probably Steel, Fire, or Grass, though. I don't think they'd click a Grass Terra against my team, but maybe it's just to get rid of the weakness and keep hands healthier. But I still think that's kind of a throw. I feel like that something like Iron Bundle could be a decent Terra as well here. They're going to proceed to go with Terra Grass, that's fine. Again, so I don't think it's actually like a terrible play. I know I said throw, and that was probably an overstatement. It's definitely not a bad play, because it does, of course, help with getting rid of the weakness. But like, this is significantly better for me than anything else. So Disguise has popped, Hands has taken practically no damage, and it has made itself now weak to Talonflame, which is really good for us. Taunt is going to go off. This should be great at, of course, pressuring the Mimikyu. Thankfully, we didn't need to burn our Terra on that, of course. Now, Mimikyu is going to take out FLUTTER. Not great for us, but at the same time, it could be a lot worse. They could have gotten up Trick Room, which could have been really bad, actually. So, thankfully, my opponent ends up being like a Life Orb set instead, which is significantly more manageable, I might add. Let's see. So there, Shadow Claw. This is fine. Okay. So I'm going to proceed to go for a... I think I want to go for Brave Bird here. Brave Bird should be decent into the Great Tusk. I can't really see a reason why I wouldn't, at least. I feel like Brave Bird just KOs. We'll go for Brave Bird, and then I'm going to go for a Terra Ground here to get rid of my Fairy weakness, and we're just going to Oko Mimikyu. Now, I do anticipate that we'll outpace Mimikyu here. We are max speed Jolly. However, just in the off chance, I don't really want to give up a turn to potentially KO both Pokemon, just because of the fact that I left myself staying Fairy weak, when... Even though, again, I don't anticipate Mimikyu to KO, it's more so in the case of Iron Hands that lives, I might lose my Great Tusk, which would be really bad for me. In reality, I'm anticipating that they try and target Talonflame here. They're going to withdraw Iron Hands, actually. That's pretty good for me. Are they going to bring an Arcanine? I feel like that Arcanine comes in here to try and scout for Amulet. No, they're going to bring a Bundle instead. Bundle coming in now is also fine for me, to be honest. Though, this does proceed a little bit of a riskier option, because I no longer actually have my Terra intact. Well, not my Tara. No, I don't have Tailwind up, which isn't really great for me. Okay, so I do need to gamble hands now, but I think that's fine. I think it's fine to gamble hands once Mimikyu is gone, because I can proceed to most likely what's going to happen is my opponent's probably going to let me go between Talonflame or Great Tusk here. And I'm going to have to just kind of hope that they do target the Talonflame, because Great Tusk will be more valuable. I'm fine with losing Talonflame in all honesty, because I can still pressure with Bundle plus Tusk by going for like close combat plus freeze dry. Oh, actually, no, do I really even want to risk that? I don't know if it's good. I'm hoping that Tusk and that hand just doesn't come in, to be completely honest. I feel like Arcanine coming in would be a lot better, because that actually does afford me, same as if Garganacl comes in, that affords me an opportunity to actually put the pressure on Bundle with a dual target. But we'll have to see, we'll have to see. They're going to proceed to bring in Iron Hands. Okay, so that's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to proceed to go for a Brave Bird into the Iron Hands here. Meanwhile, I'm going to proceed to go for a close combat into Iron Bundle. Now, I am anticipating a Fake Out plus Pump into Great Tusk, and I'm fine with that. Just clearing the hands will be beneficial because it's really the one last thing that I need Talonflame for. So I'm okay with that. Plus, I can bank on a dodge anyway from the Hydro Pump at least. So I might just do that, though they could also just freeze dry and that would at least do a good amount of damage anyway. So they might not even go for the pump. I think pump would be more reserved for Talonflame, which I'm still fine with that. I should be okay. Yep, they're going to go for Fake Out here. That's fine. Meanwhile, freeze dry is going to go off into Talonflame actually. That does not KO, which is perfect for us because I can proceed to take out the, I don't know, we do not take out Iron Hands. Oh my god. The thing is just bulky as shit. Oh my god. Okay, well, we'll need to bring in, Bundle here. Thankfully I can go for an Icy Wind, and the Icy Wind plus Protect on Tusk should be valuable. I could also potentially just go for, a Freeze Dry into Hands, and then Protect on Tusk, and then go for Icy Wind next turn. But I think that, essentially though, if they go for Icy Wind, then I never have a chance. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Icy Wind and Protect. And then I'm gonna Freeze Dry Bundle next turn. I guess the issue with this would be if they break my, if they just try and target my Bundle here, which if they do, it's unfortunate, but I don't really have a better play. I don't really think I have a better play here. I guess I could have Freeze Dried and Protect. That might have been fine. In hindsight, I think that might have been the better play. I think truthfully though, this is still kind of unwinnable because they still have another Mon in the back, and depending on what that is, I could be screwed. They're gonna go for Icy Wind. Okay, so they are going for Icy Wind. That's pretty good for me actually. Icy Wind is fine. I just need to make sure that I can KO the hands. That's really the biggest thing there. Can I KO the hands with this? We do KO hands. Okay, perfect. So KOing hands is really good for us actually. Alright. So it's just the Iron Bundle and something else left. Now, it depends on what that last Mon is. But that might be the make or break here, really. Is, what is that last Mon? Okay. So is it, it's Meowscarada. Okay, well, that might just be a loss, I'm gonna be completely honest. We're gonna go for Icy Wind here, and I'm gonna go for Close Combat on the Meowscarada. And I'm just gonna kind of have to hope that, like, Bundle goes for another Freeze Dry, and another Freeze Dry, another Icy Wind. Also that it attacks second. Because if it attacks second, I can actually guarantee outpace Meowscarada before any sort of Flower Trick shenaniganry. Now, that's not to say they can't just go for something like a Protect, or thankfully, okay, so we do get the Ice Wind up first. That's really game-changing, actually. That might be the reason that we win this, but it does entirely depend on what the Bundle goes for here. Because Bundle does have a lot of options, though, thankfully, so they're going to go for Freeze Dry into Tusk. That's really bad. Yep, okay, so that just wins the game. I'm kind of shocked that it's still outpaced. It's -2. So, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. That just barely outpaces us. That outpaces us by like a single point, I think. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm max speed Tusk. We hit 152 with that, and they literally would hit like 154. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, well, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. 0-1 to start. Not a big deal. This is a really terrifying team, to be honest. And let's get into game number 2. Peace out, guys. Moving on to game number 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Tauros, Blaze, Sylveon, Iron Hand, Roaring Moon. Okay, so this team is extremely Iron Bundle weak, actually, which is really good for us, thankfully. We're going to lead off with Iron Bundle. Actually, am I going to lead it? I know Iron Bundle's really good. I'm going to lead off with Iron Bundle Flutterman, yeah. I'm gonna bring, I could bring Talonflame still, actually. Talonflame might still have some merit. I'm gonna definitely bring Masquerada. And I think I'm gonna bring Great Tusk. I think I'm gonna bench Talonflame, yeah. This combination of 4 should actually be able to put a ton of pressure on them. I'm gonna probably Terra the bundle, but I might just wait on that. Terra on bundle would be fine enough, I think. But it's gonna be a bit tricky. Good luck and fun regardless to my opponent, and let's try and get a win. I think we can make it work for sure. I'm anticipating Roaring Moon to lead with like Iron Hands. Tauros Sylveon, okay, it's still honestly fine. Tauros Sylveon is still a really good lead for us actually, because I can proceed to go for a Hydro Pump into the Tauros spot. Meanwhile, I'm gonna proceed to go for, let's see. So what do I actually want to go for here? So I think I'm definitely gonna go for Hydro Pump into the Tauros. I think that that's ultimately my best play, even though I think there's a good chance it could protect. Meanwhile, I'm gonna proceed to go for a Dazzling Gleam here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Dazzling Gleam, and I think that should also be decent. Tauros might just protect, which is fine. It's kind of why I want to go for the Dazzling Gleam. Because one, it's a good option in case they Terra out of fire, or if maybe my opponent switches in Iron Hands. It's a good way to get some extra damage on the opponent. The Protect, though, is another thing, just in case to make sure that if for some reason this is some sort of like AV Tauros and it took the hit, I can just make sure that I pick it off while still getting off some good chip on Sylveon here. So Sylveon should at least be taking a little bit of damage. It's probably going to be like 25-30% though, which still is whatever. It's not terrible. Yeah, it's like 25%. That's fine. They're going to proceed to go for Yawn, actually. Yawn is still okay. Okay. So Yawn, Sylveon. I'm going to proceed to go for another Pump into Tauros. And then I'm going to, again, go for Gleam. Now, if my opponent switches out here, I'm perfectly okay with this. Sylveon will most likely go for Protect this turn. But again, just trying to cover my bases. They're going to switch out into what? Because they don't actually have a Fairy switching on this team. Dondozo. Okay, so Dondozo should be taking a fair amount of damage from this, which is really good for me. Hydro Pump is going to miss. That's not a huge concern. Dozo was going to chew that pretty well anyway. Okay. So we get a crit on Sylveon, I think. I think it's a crit. No, it's just a really good roll. Okay, well, I'll definitely take that for sure. Essentially here, what I need to do, I need to go for a Freeze Dry into the Dozo. Oh, let's see. So they're leftovers. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Let's see. So they're Throat Spray, Pixelate. So they are Pixelate. Just had to make sure. I always just make sure. And then the Dozo has leftovers. Okay. So this is honestly not too big of a deal. I'm gonna proceed to go for Freeze Dry, and then I'm gonna go for Terra Fairy Moonblast. Actually, no, I'm not gonna go for Terra Fairy. I'm just gonna go for Gleam. If they don't proceed to switch, it's fine. I can take out the Sylveon at least, which will be decent. I could have in theory Terra Fairy'd, but I kind of still want to save that for bundle in case it wakes up. I'm anticipating that my opponent probably just tries to KO the bundle, because I feel like that's a really good play for them to make, KOing the bundle. They're definitely bringing Tatsu here. Yep, Tatsugiri. Okay, so no Iron Hands and no Roaring Moon. Pretty good for me, I can't lie. Those two could have been pretty annoying with my comp. Albeit Tusk coming here is not great now, but if we can clear the Dondozo or force it into Terra, that's pretty decent for me. We're going to, at the very least, probably not outpace Dondozo here, which is fine. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. They need some speed to outpace us, which, for what it's worth, I do anticipate some speed. What's realistically going to happen, though, is instead they're going to Terra Steel. They are Terra Steel. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, Terra Steel, of course, gives us some good information regarding this. Iron Bundle does outpace it, which is also good information. Sadly, my checks don't really do great outside of Great Tusk. But Great Tusk is still a decent check for what it's worth. And I can go for something like Shadow Ball plus Headlong into this and do some sufficient damage. They're going to go for Order Up into my Iron Bundle. That's fine. Not a huge concern. Okay. We're going to bring in the... Let's see, so they're speed boosting. Ooh, speed boosting's not great. We're going to proceed to bring in the Great Tusk, yeah. And then I think I need to go for... What do I want to go for? I think I'm going to go for a... I'm going to go for a Headlong Rush here and just try and Terra Boost it. Now, they're only +2/+2. So I'm going to hope that we can actually get some good damage off of this and that maybe we can also take a hit. Great Tusk is fairly bulky, so the odds of it maybe taking this, I wouldn't say are 0. I think it's above 0 at least. But I'm curious to see how much we do. I think it's going to do around like 35 to 40. And then in tandem with the Flutter Mage Shadow Ball should do some good damage. They might just go for Protect this turn. Yep, Protect, that's fine. Overall, solid play for them. they're going to definitely try and... I feel like they're definitely going to try and target Tusk next turn. So I might actually just go for Protect this turn on Tusk, just to try and get Shadow Ball off. But this will definitely be a bit of a tricky situation, because essentially I do need to make sure I'm doing enough damage with Shadow Ball to actually apply some pressure to Dondozo, which isn't looking great, but we're going to go for Protect, and then I'm going to go for Shadow Ball. I don't think this will KO, and I'm going to kind of just have to hope that they target Great Tusk here. Which it's really just to make sure that we're getting off as much damage as possible, you know, keeping this thing as low as possible, just in the off chance it's some sort of defensive spread that happens to have speed boosting. They're at least not going for Protect, which is good to note. We're going to see an Earthquake go off here, okay. I'm curious if they even have a water move then, because we've seen Order Up, Protect, Earthquake. I'm personally anticipating Yawn, but maybe it's not. We also know that they outpace Flutter Mane, which is good. So that means that Bundle must have been a tie, because they could never otherwise... I don't think they could otherwise tie Flutter Mane. But that's... Oh, you know what? Never mind, because they speed boosted. Alright, well... Let's see. So, what I think I need to do here... I essentially need to go for a Headlong Rush into Dondozo. Meanwhile, I need to go for a Flower Trick here into Dondozo. This might have been a situation where leading off with Meowscarada and going for T-Spikes could have been beneficial. But sadly, though, I did not manage to think of that in the moment, in all honesty. Still not a huge deal. Thankfully, we're 3-8 KO'd by Earthquake, and it doesn't seem like it's clicking Order Up. I know this doesn't really do any real damage, and I could have, in theory, knockoffs as well. But I'm just going to hope that Headlong maybe does some good damage, and I'm going to proceed to try and bait the... Oh, we actually just barely missed the KO. Okay. So, I'm going to proceed to go for a Protect on Tusk here. This should help, of course, with any sort of protection shenaniganry. And then I'm gonna go for Protect, and then I'm gonna go for a knockoff here. I'm anticipating them to try and KO my Great Tusk. They're gonna go for Protect, that's fine. Okay. How much should we do with Sucker Punch? I mean, actually, I don't even think I really have a choice, to be honest. Because I kind of just need to hope that it KOs. I kind of just need to hope that we KO with Sucker. Because of the fact that I actually made that play. Even though, I mean... It was kind of obvious that Dozo was going for this. So Dozo might die to this. Just in case, I'm going to click Headlong Rush. But we lose if we don't kill the Dondozo here. For what it's worth, we can KO. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Hopefully it clicks Earthquake. Nope, Wave Crash. Okay. So that's objectively a loss. We lose this game objectively. Really unfortunate way to lose. But it is what it is. I think, in all honesty, that's on me. I think I should have applied better pressure. I should have gotten up T-Spikes early on. Yeah, no, that's just me. That is just me. We'll try and pull up a win in game 3. I think the team is good enough for a win, for what it's worth. I don't know what happened. I can't lie. I don't know what happened there. Because I think the team was fine. I just fucked up. But this Scarf Tatsugiri guarantee KOs, and even still, I can't fucking touch the Tauros. It's a firefighting type. I cannot touch that Mon with this. So we'll get Draco'd here. That's gonna pick up. GG to my opponent. We'll see you guys in game number 3, where we're gonna try and get a win. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, we're here with game number 3. We're taking on Dondozo Giri. I can't lie. I had a much easier game 3 planned, but it disconnected me and gave me the loss despite keeping me online. So that is very fun. We're taking on Dozagiri, Hands, Bonnet, Flutter, Mane, Iron Moth. Oh, okay. This is still Talon Tusk fodder for what it's worth. Literally just gonna lead off with the same lead I was going to in the other match. Actually, no. I was gonna, funny enough, both games I was actually gonna lead off with Talon Tusk, and then I changed it over last second to Iron Bundle Flutter Mane. I think here definitely just making sure I have Tusk in the back will be valuable. But ultimately, I'm gonna want, actually, no. No, I am gonna go for T-Spikes here. They don't even have a poison outside of Moth, which is probably a lead mon here. I'm gonna lead off with Iron Bundle and Meowscarada. I'm gonna bring Flutter Mane in the back, because Flutter Mane will be a decent way to pressure. And I'm gonna bring, do I want to bring Iron Bundle? Do I want to bring Meowscarada? No, I don't want to bring Meowscarada. I feel like that realistically, I need Talon for too much. Their team doesn't have a great flying check. Really, the only thing I can think of is a Terrestrial option. Even still, this is a good way to burn Dondozo, so I am going to still backseat it, actually. And if it comes down to, like, an Iron Moth scenario, I could always just go for a Brave Bird into the Iron Moth slot as well. That's another really good way to KO it. They're going to lead off with Iron Moth Flutter Mane. I'm perfectly okay with this, actually, because I can proceed to go for a... I'm going to go for an Icy Wind here, plus a Protect on my Flutter Mane. Meanwhile, I'm going to then go for a Hydro Pump into the Iron Moth plus a Terra Fairy Moonblast. This is actually no. I'm going to go for Icy Wind here. Plus the Moonblast. I'm not going to go for Terra Fairy though. I think realistically this should be enough to KO it anyway. Barring some sort of like Terra resistance set. So I'm pretty okay with just going for this damage. This should be enough to KO Flutter Mane. Yeah, I can't see a world where this actually takes the hit. They're going to Terrestrial here. It's fine. It's probably going to be Iron Moth. I don't really think it's going to be anything else. Yep, the Flutter Mane's actually going to Terra. Okay, that's fine. They're going to go for Terra Fairy. Good to note. Okay, this is still fine. Looking at this. So their speed's going to get dropped in both Pokemon, which is huge. I can proceed to just go for a Moonblast into the Flutter Mane. And this should do some sufficient damage. It's going to be a great way to try and hopefully get this thing KO'd. I don't think this will take the hit, but maybe it does. It barely takes a hit. Okay, that's fine. In terms of my opponent, they're going to go for Dazzling Gleam on Flutter Mane. That's fine. This shouldn't KO either one, but it's going to be some good damage. Yep. And then meanwhile, Acid Spray is going to not KO my Flutter Mane, thankfully, actually. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm going to proceed to go for a Freeze Dry into this. Actually, no. I'm going to go for Hydro Bump into the Iron Moth. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam on both, just in case I need the extra chip, or in case my opponent maybe switches out into something like Brute Bonnet, for example, or Dondozo. I can get off some good damage. But already turn 1, we're taking some hits pretty well. The Acid Spray leaving us at -2 isn't great, but they're both slower than my Flutter Mane at this point because of the fact that we went for Icy Wind turn 1. So I'm pretty okay with this. They're going to go for Protect on Flutter Mane. That's fine. I don't really care. Flutter Mane is probably the least of my concerns. They're going to go for Protect on Iron Moth. Okay. So a null turn is what I'm hearing. Doesn't really matter in all honesty because they don't have a switch in. They don't have a switch into fairy options, and that's kind of the issue here. The best thing that they could do in theory would be switching in Dondozo into the Flutter Mane spot and Tatsugiri into the Iron Moth slot. And the sole reason I'm saying that is because of the fact that it would essentially lead them with taking as little damage as possible, because I'm going for single target in the Moth, and I'm going for dual target into the, with my Flutter Mane. But otherwise, they're switching in something that's going to take a lot from a fairy hit. Like, for example, if they have Hands and Bonnet in the back, they're going to take a ton of damage from Gleam. And even if that slot right there in a Moth is Bonnet, which would take the pump better, sure, it's still going to take a ton. They're going to bring in Iron Hands there. See, that's what I would not recommend going for there, because they're going to essentially be taking a Hydro Pump plus a Gleam this turn, which is still pretty terrible. Like, that pump does around 40%, and the Gleam should do again around like 40. Yep, they're pretty much gone at this point. I can go for Dual Protect next turn because of the fact that it essentially screws over their Iron Hands. It makes it so I don't have to worry about even taking a Fake Out here. We'll actually lose Flutter Mane in the process, which I'm pretty okay with losing Flutter Mane in all honesty. I'll go into Talonflame. Because with Talonflame, I can actually just go for a Brave Bird. I can proceed to go for Brave Bird into really either spot. This puts up a ton of offensive pressure. They guarantee do not have Dozogiri, which is huge for me. Flutter Mane is also gone. That means they don't have the Terra option anymore. I can proceed to go for Terra Flying into Moth, which will be huge. Meanwhile, I can go... Well, actually, no. I'm going to go for... No, Moth should still get Outpace guaranteed, actually. I'm going to go for Freeze Dry into Hands. That should guarantee KO. And I'm going to go for Terra Flying into Moth. This should also guarantee KO. I know for a fact this Talonflame is just offensive for this reason, to just nail these KOs with Terra Flying. I can't really see an out that my opponent has to this. Like, the best way that I could see them going for this is trying to bank on the fact that I miss a Hydro Pump, which I'm not clicking into hands, and going for like a Wild Charge, like a Thunder Punch into my Talonflame, and then go for Protect on the Iron Moth, which sadly just is not going to work out for them because they're going to get really screwed over by this. The Fake Out also works because it means that Hands lives another turn, which, whatever, I don't really care. I'm using Talonflame to take out Moth, so Moth should be guaranteed KO'd here. Which works out really well for me. Moth is now going to be gone. This is a decent way for my opponent to have actually outpaced my my Great Tusk, which is decent for us, actually. Realistically, whatever comes in should be taking a ton of damage from my Great Tusk plus Talonflame. If Dondozo comes in, I'm going to burn it. Otherwise, I'm going to probably just go for a Great Tusk killing... let's see. Seta, I think it's Bonnet. Yep, it's Bonnet. Okay, perfect. So... what we're going to manage to do here, I'm going to proceed to go for a Close Combat into Bonnet. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for a Brave Bird into Bonnet. because Bonnet's really the actual threat here at this point, in my opinion. It can go for stuff like Sucker Punch, it can go for Spore, it can go for Seed Bomb. It can do a lot of things that would actually pose a threat. Hands can only kill one Pokemon though. The difference is that Bonnet could, in theory, put me in a situation where I don't actually have an out to Hands, and that's kind of a problem. It's not a huge problem, but it is kind of a problem. So I'm going to actually proceed to just dual target the Bonnet here. Hands can only really put a threat on one of my Pokemon, and even if Bonnet goes for Protect, I'm still actually fine because I can target Bonnet on the following turn and still be pretty set from that. Albeit maybe that's merit to kill the Hands. See, they're going to go for Sucker Punch here, and I'm okay with this because the Talon only needs to live for this single turn. The Iron Hands never actually KOs. Oh, perfect. We actually just KO Bonnet anyway. I'm kind of shocked we did. Like, I know that obviously this is a Terra Flying hit into Bonnet, but I figured Bonnet could have at least, like, barely taken that. It's not like we're Sharp Beak or anything, and it's not like we're Adamant Nature or anything. We're just Jolly Talonflame. It's still a fairly weak Pokemon. Like, this is the equivalent of throwing Life Orb at Talonflame, essentially. So, we're pretty okay here. We managed to win that game at least, so honestly, I'll take what we can get. A little bit annoyed with the fact that our real game 3 ended up getting it disconnected, and I got the loss for it despite staying online. But, regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like on the video, and make sure you subscribe for more. Make sure, of course, as well, that you pick up the channel membership. Starting off, I will say that for channel members, the content is actually going to be switching. After this members video, that is going to be our breakdown from Orlando, we're actually going to start going every other week with channel membership videos, and they're going to be bonus series that you guys are going to pick out, where we're actually going to be laddering and doing different challenges based on what you guys want to see. So if you guys want to see, let's say, a team that hits Master Ball with no Protect, that's something you could vote on. If you want to see a team that hits Master Ball with your favorite Pokemon, no matter how bad it is, it's something you can vote on. And we'll do bi-weekly videos like every other week where we're going to be doing highly edited ladder challenges, and I'm going to do like a really big composition on essentially that challenge run. And we'll do it twice a month on the even Thursdays of a month, so every second, on the even Saturdays, I should say. So for example, for February, it will be Saturday the 25th will be the only other one, and then going into March, it will be the 11th to 25th. Going into April, though, we have 5 Saturdays, so it's just going to be the 8th and the 22nd, and then May would, again, just still be the 13th and 27th, because it's the 2nd and 4th. Guaranteed of every month, there will be those challenge videos, so hopefully you guys look forward to that. With that said, though, as well, shout out to our channel members being Josh K. Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke Zero, Matt O'Shea, Slade, and Koemi. You guys' support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to become a channel member today, make sure, of course, you do hit that button. It's only a couple dollars a month, and the support goes a long way. We'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Until then, peace out, guys.